All right,
Mhm.
welcome back to iCAIRS 2 with our next episode. Today, we're going to talk about mental health. So, you guys know
Ah,
it's important to discuss your mental health. And I shared with you in my first story how I had a, traumatic event when I found out that I had this condition. And so, it took me a while to go and seek professional help because, again, you feel embarrassed. Most people think if you go get help, you're crazy. So, I felt that way. So when I finally got some good sense and really went and sought out some real professional help, it made a tremendous change for me in my life. And now I just want to introduce you to one of my favorite doctors, Dr. S, and she's going to give you some great information about how you can really help yourself get better mentally. And we're going to just go through a series of questions that we're going to just ask her that I think will be very important for you to take care of your life. Okay. So here we have
yeah.
Dr. S. So the first thing I want to ask you,
Mhm.
Dr. S, when we
Mhm.
talk about mental health as a doctor, how do you typically treat patients who struggle with depression?
Well, depression is something that is definitely very common. It's becoming more common than it should be. And so when you and myself, I have experienced depression as well. And so I'm very, very familiar with it. But when we talk about our mental health, what I've learned is mental health is the more preventative things that we need to do. And the mental illness is what happens when we don't deal with our mental health. And we have to deal with our mental health on a daily basis. That means that we're literally doing things just like we do for our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. We have to do things on a daily that is going to nurture our mental health. And one of the things that I have incorporated in my own personal life as well as teach it is meditation. And that is a part of my daily ritual of what I do to help maintain my mental health. And what does that look like? It looks as I'm stealing away. I'm taking moments of stillness. A lot
Oh,
of people fear stillness because they fear being alone with their own thoughts. But
mm,
in that moment, we find out how our body is feeling. We are in tune with our emotions so that we can respond in a healthier way.
mhm.
A lot of times we don't acknowledge how we're feeling, so we suppress. And when we suppress, it makes it easier for depression to become more prominent in our lives only because we didn't deal with situations in that moment. And so when we deal with our daily mental health, it's what you're doing on a daily to make sure that you are calming your mind, you're calming your thoughts, you allowing yourself to own the day, to be more mindful of who you are and how you're showing up, but better yet, how you're feeling in that moment so that you can deal.
Mm,
And so meditation allows for you to do that. So when we talk about depression, when we talk about mental health care for ourselves, is what we're doing on a daily basis. A lot of people walk, a lot of people do exercises. One of the main components is our nutrition. All of those things trigger certain releasing of healthy hormones to help us to balance out. So again, like I was saying, the meditation part, the breathing, a lot of people, we breathe naturally, but
mhm.
not understanding the power of the breath. When we take intentional breathing, our brain takes up the most oxygen. So when we nurture the brain with extra breathing that we take out to do intentional breathing, it's like it allows us to be expressed more mental clarity. It helped
Right.
us to declutter. It helped us to own our truth, because in that moment you are nurturing, you're centering, you're being still, and you are being able to drown out the noise of the outside and now hear from the voice from the inside.
Oh,
And
that's
so
good.
those are just some mental care tips that
Hmm.
we can do to help with our mental health. Daily practice. And in that, when we begin to nurture that, it helps us not to have to go into the mental illness part. But even if you're a person that constantly deals with depression, anxiety, and some of the other mental illnesses,
Hmm.
the help is to start taking time to do those nurturing components. And what you'll see where it's not as consistent. You'll see where you're not as depressed for long periods of time. I'm a big, like you said, I'm a big person on therapy. I've actually partnered with a psychotherapist. So
Oh,
with my clients, when they come and see me, I also have her as a partner where we can collab, where they
oh,
can
that's
do the
cool.
mindfulness and meditation with me,
Yeah.
absolutely, and do the psychotherapy with her. And I feel that with us coming together in this capacity, we're able to help people in all areas.
Hmm.
But one thing we have to realize is that we have to get out of the negative stigma of therapy and alternative
Yeah,
modalities,
exactly.
because those are the things that naturally our body seeks, and our body naturally needs the guidance that a therapist offers. Our body naturally needs the guidance of breathing and meditation and solitude and stillness.
Right.
And a lot of times we run away from that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. That's really
Yeah.
good. And I even think about when we had our session with you, me and my family, and just some different
Yeah.
techniques that you went through with us, which was phenomenal. And even like how we're seeing here, some of the breathing techniques that you mentioned, and we were at a very warm place at this lake. It was just like so
Mm,
relaxing, and just my family, coming out with me was just so, helpful, because it just really encouraged me and inspired me. And I was just so thankful that you were able to do that for our family. Is that some of the
yeah.
services that you offer as well?
Absolutely. Again, I'm the founder of Inner Healing with Dr. S, and one of the services that I offer is definitely alternative therapies that's dealing with the meditation, the mindfulness. I do corporate mindfulness training, Reiki practitioner when we get into our energy medicine, because we are energy beings. And so all of those components together. I have individual sessions as well as group sessions that I offer, centered around the alternative health realm, dealing with our mental state, our emotional state, and our spiritual state.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Make sure you come back next week to tune in to more about Dr. S and your mental health. See you next time. iCares too. We out.